In the headlines, all is set for tonight's Courtesy Garage Pickety Crop Finals, powered by Q100.7 FM. An insurer says Barbados experiencing a road safety crisis. Young people get hands-on training in disaster preparedness. And in sports, there'll be a new champion school in the BCA Under-15 competition.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Aisha Nichols. In our top story at 7, the biggest crop over festival competition is tonight. Thousands of people are expected to attend the Courtesy Garage Pickety Crop Finals, powered by Q100.7 FM at the National Botanical Gardens. We go live now to Tisha Hines, who's live on location. Tisha, paint a picture of the scene for us.
Hey, thank you so much, Aisha, and good night and welcome to our viewers on TV8 and viewers of NewsNight. It is definitely a sight to be seen here at the Botanical Gardens. Originally scheduled to be at a different location, but moved owing to the state service of the Right Excellent late national hero. We are here at the Botanical Gardens, and I must tell you, the space is filling up nicely. As we came in a little bit earlier, it was a little difficult to get in at some of the various designated entry points. However, people have come out early and the lines are definitely long. There's lots of parking all around this big, beautiful venue that's located in the center of the island. But I can guarantee, even though you're seeing some empty chairs behind us as we get ready for 17 marvelous Calypsonians to come up against reigning monarch blood, I can guarantee you these seats are going to be full by the time we get going just around 8 o'clock. So just after news, we're going to come right back to the Botanical Gardens and bring all the action to you live.
Thanks, Tisha. We'll be sure to have our viewers stay locked to TV8. In the news now, a leading insurance company is raising the alarm over what it describes as a road safety crisis in Barbados. Cooperators General Insurance says there are more than a dozen collisions every day, and dangerous driving habits are pushing up insurance costs while putting lives at risk. Dianza Roberts has the details.
Approximately 15 motor vehicle collisions are being recorded in Barbados daily, and at least one insurer says nearly all of them are preventable. Officials at Cooperators General Insurance say speeding, distracted driving, alcohol and drug use, and fatigue remain the leading causes of crashes on the island. General Manager Anton Lovell says the number is concerning.
There is approximately 15 motor collisions occurring daily on our roads, with half of them resulting in injuries to persons. So we have to question, is it because quite a few people and entities benefit from these motor collisions? In the early years when I joined the industry, compensation was paid mainly to injured parties involved in motor collisions. In recent times, in addition to monies being paid to claimants, thousands of dollars are now being paid to a cross-section of professionals.
He says there is also an issue with the availability of parts for vehicles when there is an accident. Claims manager Michael Holder says some motorists have to wait months for repairs, with insurers having to cover rental vehicle costs.
The situation with the issue of parts is concerning because it is helping to increase the cost of the claims we have to settle on a daily and weekly basis. And I would want to share with you an example of what we're talking about. We have a case here, for instance, where we asked for an estimate from the garage, and the garage will say to us, well, this is the cost, but the parts are not in stock. To get the parts in by air freight, they say, well, that will take 4 to 6 weeks. To get the parts in by normal sea freight, that is 3 to 5 months.
Mr. Lovell says another major concern is the growing number of uninsured vehicles.
What amplifies this problem? These vehicles are involved in several motor vehicle accidents, sometimes involving serious injuries to persons. As a result, innocent people suffer, whether being deprived of much needed health care or being left out of pocket having to cover their own uninsured losses. We estimate approximately 20% of the vehicles on our roads are not insured.
With the busy summer season continuing, the insurer is urging motorists to slow down, avoid distractions, and never drive under the influence. The company says it will roll out road safety banners across Barbados as part of its public awareness campaign while continuing to lobby for stronger road safety legislation. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Meanwhile, Barbadians are being urged to be careful on the roads during the last lap of crop over this weekend. The appeal comes from President of the Barbados Road Safety Association, Roland Lowe.
To encourage all road users to comply with all traffic laws and regulations as you travel along the island's roads. We want persons to plan for their outings. By that we mean make sure that your vehicle is in good working order. Ensure that you get adequate rest before all events and hydrate. At the events, we want persons to comply with security and safety personnel on duty and be safe on and around trucks. We also encourage you to have plans in place for after the event, either by having a designated driver or plans in place for transportation at the conclusion of the event. Absolutely no drinking and driving. We don't want any unfortunate events on our roads at the close of the season.
A group of children is now more prepared to respond when disaster strikes, thanks to a summer program aimed at teaching them essential disaster preparedness skills. The young people were part of the Safe Coast BIM summer camp, hosted by the Ashley Lashley Foundation in partnership with the Department of Emergency Management. Participants from the Cook Caribbean camp also took part in the activity, which was held at the Main Guard Clock Tower at the Garrison Savannah today. Orvinardo Corbin has more.
The camp concludes with a simulation entitled Operation Savannah Shield, which allows the children to showcase the skills learnt during the month-long program. The intent is to immerse young people into what disaster and emergency response is all about, providing them with both practical and theoretical skills. Emergency radio communications, casualty assessment and transport, and fire safety simulation are just some of what they have been taught. Executive Director of the Ashley Lashley Foundation, Ashley Lashley, underscores the significance of the initiative.
As we know, Barbados as a small island state, we are susceptible to an increase in hurricanes, flooding, coastal erosion, and the simulation activity is basically reinforcing the information to young persons on how to act before, during, and after a disaster has occurred. And I think with the collaboration of the Department of Emergency Management over the last 4 weeks as one of the national disaster emergency agencies, it's extremely important that they came on board to collaborate with us to really get young persons aware about the concepts and what officers are doing.
The day's exercise is prepared by interns with the Department of Emergency Management. DEM intern Edwin Workman says it is critical that the island's young people are equipped with these skills.
Well, it's important because we always know that Barbados sits on the hurricane belt. We have hurricanes, we have disasters, and if we don't inform the youth, how are we going to know what's the next step to do? Because the older generation, they would have gone on, they would have known their tricks, and some things would have been false. Some information that, you know, if the roof is leaking, put the bricks on the roof to hold it down, which, as we know now, is not a safe thing to do because the bricks can take flight. So if we can inform the younger generation first, they can take it out, and it's easier process to then come back to our response mechanisms.
Camp participant Samara Talford says the program is informative.
I've learned how to deal with disasters such as fires, hurricanes, earthquakes, and tsunamis. I've learned how to prepare in advance for them and during and after. And I think probably the most crucial thing that I've learned is that there can never really be enough preparedness going into it. You can never prepare enough. And everybody should be preparing, because I must admit some of the stuff that was learned here, or I learned here, I did not know about before or thought that I had to do.
Participants from the Cook Caribbean camp also speak about their experience.
Here we learned to pack the safety bag, not just to think about the physical, but also the mental, because if you don't have a good mental space, it could mess up a lot of stuff.
I learned a lot, especially when I came here on Monday. I learned what to do and how you pack a safety bag.
The organizers are hoping that this initiative is adopted on a national level. Bernardo Corbin, CBC News.
Coming up, efforts underway to improve breast cancer screening. Stay with us. The annual Walk for the Cure is returning with renewed urgency this year as organizers unveil plans to improve breast cancer screening in Barbados. The Barbados Cancer Society and CBC Caribbean are not only encouraging thousands to participate in October's fundraising walk, but they're also hoping to raise enough money to purchase a state-of-the-art breast ultrasound machine that could transform early detection. Ordianza Roberts has more.
The countdown has begun for the 2026 Walk for the Cure. Now in its 26th year, the annual fundraiser continues its mission of increasing breast cancer awareness while raising money for life-saving screening services. Chairman of the breast screening program, Dr. Shirley Jagru, says that this year they have set their sight on acquiring an automated breast ultrasound system valued at approximately $600,000.
This technology will, 1, allow persons with dense breasts to access both mammogram and ultrasound screening at the same visit and solve the 2 months waiting for ultrasounds. 2, it excludes the necessity for radiologists to be physically present, which is what the problem we have at the moment. The machine automatically scans the breast, after which the images can be forwarded to the radiologist to report remotely.
She says the investment is becoming increasingly necessary as more younger women are being diagnosed and the demand for ultrasound services continues to rise. The clinic detects an average of 2 to 3 new breast cancer cases each week.
At the breast screening clinic, an average of about 600 to 700 persons have mammograms screening, along with 150 approximately ultrasounds every month. With these, there have been an average of 2 to 3 new positive cases every week. Encouragingly, the majority of those diagnosed are at stages 0 to 2, when treatment outcomes are most favorable.
For CBC Caribbean, the Walk for the Cure remains one of the bank's flagship community initiatives across the region. Head of Country Victor Boyce says every fundraising activity has one goal: ensuring money does not prevent someone from receiving a potentially life-saving screening.
All of these activities are done to raise awareness and generate funds to assist in the fight against breast cancer. All of us have a friend, a family member, or a colleague who has been touched in some way by cancer. So what we do is really a labor of love. We do it because we want to help. We want those who cannot afford mammograms to still get those life-saving scans. In this fight, money should never be an obstacle to such routine but vital services. This walk is just one of the causes supported by CBC Caribbean ComTrust Foundation. And as I mentioned, this activity is replicated in all 10 countries in which we operate.
Organizers are hoping this year's campaign will not only attract another record turnout, but also generate enough funding to purchase the new ultrasound system, further strengthening Barbados' breast cancer screening program and improving early diagnosis. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
President of Barbados, the Most Honorable Jeffrey Bostick, is planning to entertain all living centenarians at State House at the end of the year. He made this announcement while visiting Barbados' newest centenarian, Ada Strawn. There, he also stressed the importance of centenarians passing on information about Barbados to the younger generation.
This is really something very, very special, and I hope to make it even more special. I have a team with me that travel around with the cameras and the videos, because I want to do in November a special on the centenarians that I have visited this year. That will be based on, so that the young people can hear them and from them, not from me. And then, God willing, in December, it is my intention to entertain all the living centenarians in this country at State House. And I hope that she will be one of them.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inn. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Sports time now, and we say good evening to Mark Seal.
A very good evening to you. We're going to start with cricket, where Christchurch Foundation will clash with Courage and Parry in the final of the Student Revolving Loan Fund BCA Under-15 cricket tournament. Foundation got the better of Milo Lodge in their semi-final at Map Hill today via first innings points as the contest ended in a draw. Replying to Foundation's first innings score of 190, Lodge were bowled out for 183. Kamani Innes finished 64 not out, inclusive of 4 fours, while Kamani Clark took 4 for 41. CBC's Damien Best was there for the first session on day number 2.
The Lodge School resuming 78 for 2 in reply to Christchurch Foundation's 190. Reese Knight to Malachi Mason, whipped off the legs, compounded by the misfield, 4 runs. Kaimani Innes in on the action as well, picks the gap through the covers, 97 for 2. Foundation in need of a wicket, extra bounce, the undoing of Mason, caught at slip by Daquan Gill-Gittins off the bowling of Kaimani Clark for 60. Who's going to pick up the slack? Well, Innes says, leave it to me, pulls, and successfully so, through square leg 4 runs. However, right after the water break, the Lodge School will lose another. The new man, Keenan Paris, caught by Trevani Greenidge for 1. Another scout for Clark, 124 for 4. All of a sudden, the tide changed. Andre Small, clean bowled, off stump for Duck, 125 for 5. Still lots of work to be done. Innes clearing the field, couple bounces into the ropes, 4 runs. But no one seemed to want to hang around. Zadari Scanterbury struck on the pad, given LBW for just 1. Javari Charles into the wickets column, 144 now for 6. Kaneko Darlington was the next to go, caught by Tyborn coming off the boundary for 6. Clark has another, 165 for 7. Eventually, the Lodge School at the luncheon interval, 176 for 8. Damien Best, CBC Sports.
The Barbados women's hockey players are into tomorrow's semi-final at the 2026 CAC Games in Santo Domingo. The Bajan girls defeated Jamaica last evening 3-1, with Barbados' goals coming from the Jamelia Edwards, Ayana Wilson, and Jada Prescott. They'll take on Mexico in semi-final number 1, while Cuba will take on Venezuela in semi number 2. However, Barbados men were beaten this morning by Mexico 3-0 and will be contesting for a position between 5th and 8th place. In swimming, the mixed 400-meter freestyle relay team of Amani Miller, Heidi Stout, Daniel Treadwer, and Jake Chiatau finished 3rd in Heat 1 in a new national record of 3 minutes 44.42 seconds, and also they advanced. However, they have withdrawn from tonight's final. Meantime, over at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, judoka Deanne Walton lost her 57-kilogram elimination round of 16 contest to Sylvia Nwala of Zambia via an EPON. A rising star in athletics is making headlines as he prepares to switch allegiance and represent Barbados on the world stage. Amir Thompson, the son of Barbados Olympic bronze medalist Obadele Thompson and women's world sprint champion Marion Jones of the United States, is set to compete for the blue, yellow, and black at the World Under-20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon next week. CBC's China Haynes reports.
Years old, Thompson is already carrying the weight of a remarkable legacy. With both parents decorated athletes, he's determined to carve out his own path in track and field. In an interview with Sports Chambers, Thompson explains why he has chosen to don Barbados colors, although being born in the United States.
Competing for Barbados allows me to enter into the international game and compete against the best athletes from a lot of other countries. And I believe that me competing for Barbados will also help contribute to the growing success that is brewing in the track and field scene there. And I think that experience is also extremely necessary to do anything in this sport. And so it was a pretty easy decision.
Thompson's campaign in the sport is relatively new, as he was a basketball player throughout his high school career.
Track season had kind of already started, but my dad encouraged me to try out for the team, but I was given a spot and I ran a 200-meter dash. And I think my first race I ran a 22:47. And I thought I was pretty good because my dad was gassing me up pretty good, pretty well. But I didn't realize how far this thing could really go. And so I competed throughout the summer, and I was blessed with an opportunity to get a scholarship to go to the University of Texas at Austin. And I transferred a year later to Arizona State University. But as of yesterday, I am now with Texas A&M and a proud Aggie.
Natural talent saw Thompson win the individual Big 12 indoor title in the 200 meters, as well as shattering the Arizona State University program record with a blazing time of 20.40 seconds and earning first-team All-American honors. Thompson holds a personal best of 20.37, the under-20 Barbados record in the 200 meters, and is currently ranked 9th in the world in the under-20 category. With talent, determination, and a powerful family legacy behind him, Thompson is poised to make his mark at the World Under-20 Championships. China Haynes, CBC Sports.
Agriculture in Barbados has a bright future. This promising outlook was shared by the Assistant Camp Director of the Hearts and Minds Agricultural Summer Camp, Keisha Weeks. She expressed this optimism while addressing the closing ceremony of the 4-week camp at the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security in Graham Hall, Christchurch today. It was attended by Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security, Chantal Munro-Knight, and Minister of Education Transformation, Chad Blackman, and other government officials. Trevor Thorpe was there.
Assistant Camp Director Keisha Weeks says the experience has been highly encouraging, not only for the participants, but also for the organisers and stakeholders involved. The camp aimed to inspire young Barbadians to engage with agriculture, fostering a new generation passionate about sustainable farming and national food security.
It has been wonderful to witness the confidence, friendship and knowledge that have grown throughout this camp. I hope each of you leave here today with not only new skills, but also a greater appreciation for the important role agriculture plays in our daily lives. To the parents, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with your children and for encouraging them to take part in this unique experience. Your support has allowed them to discover that agriculture is more than farming. It is about science, innovation, sustainability, nutrition, and ensuring that our nation can feed itself for generations to come.
Camp Councillor Tiwana Russell emphasises the importance of agriculture to Barbados' future, noting that with continued education, innovation and community support, the sector is poised to thrive. She says they are leaving with knowledge that will last them a lifetime.
It's more than dirt. That livestock requires patience, responsibility, that food does not, and responsibility, and that food does not simply appear on supermarket shelves. Additionally, they learned that agriculture is not only a way of life, but it's also a career, a business, and an essential part of our nation's future.
Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security, Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight, says the ministry, through initiatives such as the camp, remains committed to nurturing young talent and promising agricultural development as a key pillar of the nation's growth and sustainability. She had high praise for the organisers.
Really want to thank both of you. Like I said, I know that it has not been easy. We're doing this for the first time. We did it together. We had to change and shift a couple of times, but never at any point did they say, we can give up. Minister, this can't work. Every time we come at them, they say, all right, Minister, coming back. We can shift, we can move, but we can get it done, right? And that is really the hearts and minds behind this, when you have people who line up behind a vision.
The organisers say the Hearts and Minds Agriculture Camp is to become an annual affair. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Vehicle repairs are becoming increasingly expensive, according to Cooperators General Insurance. Claims manager Michael Holder says shortages of replacement vehicle parts are causing lengthy repair delays and increasing insurance costs. He says some parts take up to 5 months to arrive by sea freight, while air freight can cost 2 or 3 times more. Mr. Holder says those costs ultimately affect insurance premiums across the industry.
No, our vehicle is on road worthy. It is not. The driver can't put it on the road. It's not road worthy. that would mean that a rental would have to be provided for a person for 5 months. Now, you can see if you get a rental at $750 a week or $800 a week, that is considerable costs to increase the claim. So at the end of the day, when we come to the insuring public and we say to them, well, hey, it is the claims cost that is driving up the premium, these are examples of what we're encountering.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Welcome back. As promised, Mark is here again with the second half of sports.
Thank you very much. And as promised, first up, horse racing, the hot favorite, Ultrasound, with Jarrell Beckles in the saddle, blew away all challengers in the 87th Visit Barbados Derby at the Garrison Savannah last night. It was the third and final jewel of the Barbados Triple Crown.
And away they go. Pavlova was fleet-footed away from the inside, and she speeds off to lead early. Here comes the favorite, Flying Jenny, who got away in good order to come into contention as well. Then there's the maiden, Aria Stark on the inside. She's third, tracked by Ariel, who comes away in fourth in the early stages of the Derby. She's 2.5 lengths off the lead. Next is Relentless, who races by himself. He's fifth and 6 lengths off of the lead with a mile left to travel. The other maiden, Cotton Reel, has behind him his stablemate, Undeniable. And the Guineas winner, Ultrasound, is ninth and last as they swing to the stretch for the first time. The field is stretched out. There's 13 lengths covering them as they went through the opening quarter in a controlled 26-4, and it is Pavlova who leads the Derby field past the stands for the first time with a handful of Flying Jenny. Antonio Bishop angles the filly into the turn, second to the flank of the leader, Pavlova. In the pocket, third is Aria Stark, fourth is Ariel. She gets a good trip. She's 3 clear of Relentless past the 5.5. Then there's the new face, Bossy Lady, and Ricky Walker. He starts to shake the reins for her to get closer as half the journey gets complete as they jump the sand and head down the back stretch. Next is Undeniable. The Guineas winner, Ultrasound, is out of last, but he's way off of Flying Jenny. With a half mile left to go, he's got about 10 lengths to make up, and Cotton Reel's the trailer. It's Pavlova who's led every step of the way, hounded by Flying Jenny. These two fillies start to sprint from the rest of them. Ariel takes third as Aria Stark is done. Into fourth is Relentless. Let Go is Bossy Lady. Undeniable. Jarrell Beckles still hasn't asked Ultrasound for his best. He's only got one behind him, and a lot of work to do as they come to the quarter mile with Pavlova resolute at the head of affairs. Flying Jenny's going to have to work a lot harder, and here is Bossy Lady with a furlong left to travel. It's Pavlova still at the head of affairs. In between, it's Flying Jenny. She might be under pressure. Bossy Lady is this swing to the judge. Ariel gets a let in on the inside. Bossy Lady, Ultrasound, Flying Jenny, Pavlova, and Ariel up the inside. A wild finish for the Derby, and here's the Guineas winner, who's going to be a Derby winner from last to first. It's Ultrasound to win it.
The Barbados senior men's national basketball team may be without its best player in Kyron Alexander for the second round of the FIBA AmeriCup 2029 pre-qualifiers. Speaking after he led his local club, Burger King Clapham Bulls, to the 2026 Co-Operators General Insurance Premier League title, Alexander said the next round of pre-qualifiers is currently clashing with his senior college season. Alexander, who led the first round in scoring with 28.8 points per game, says he's unsure but hopeful something will work out in time for the second round.
The next stage of the national team kind of runs right as my college season starts, so just trying to figure out and work out if, that would be a possibility. I mean, the guys know I always love to come back and play, but, I just kind of got to see where I know what opportunity they have and if I can't even play, but I know TBD.
The FIBA AmeriCup 2029 pre-qualifier second round is scheduled for November this year, with exact match dates and host venues still to be officially announced by FIBA. Meanwhile, the Bulls are still basking in the glory of a historic three-peat in BABA Premier League after defeating CAM Smart Assurance City United Celtics 3-2. Head coach Keelan Phillips says he is proud the team was able to execute as planned.
That was a goal for us for the beginning of the season. I think the last thing to repeat was actually the same Bulls in 97, 98, and 99, right? So that's a very long time ago. So that's a goal that we really wanted to accomplish. There was some turnover from last year. Some guys left us, but then we brought in some pieces. Manny came back. He was part of the first title. We also brought in some other pieces, and that really helped throughout the season.
The Bragging Rights Football Tournament is back for its 15th season. The grassroots community football competition brings together alumni from various secondary schools across the island to compete mainly for school pride. The St. Leonard's boys are the defending champions. This year's tournament kicks off on August 9th with a soccer-rama and health fair at the Empire Ground. Then from August 15th to 31st of October, the venue changes to the Lumber Company Ground. Business communications specialist at the Barbados Lottery, Tisha Brewster, says for the past 3 years they have been proud to partner with the tournament because it represents more than just football.
It's about bringing communities together, creating opportunities for young people, and using sport as a positive force for change. At the Barbados Lottery, we believe that the strongest communities are built through partnerships that make a real difference in people's lives. That's why we are delighted to continue our support this year. We are especially honored to sponsor the inaugural Donovan Yearwood Memorial Back to School Assistance Program. Through this program, the Barbados Lottery will provide school supplies to families within the community, helping children begin the new school year with the resources they need to learn, grow, and succeed. We know that even a small investment in a child's education can have a lasting impact, and we are proud to play a part in making that possible.
Now, the draw for the various zones was completed by representatives from the Barbados Institute of Management and Technology and also the Barbados Lottery. BIMAP representative Makita Phillips says they are pleased to be back on board to sponsor 2 courses for present students from the winning team.
One BIMAP 3-month course for the tournament person who is the most valuable player, and I can't wait to meet that person. Exclusive professional development workshops for schools finishing first and second, providing students with practical skills to help them prepare for future success. In addition, we are excited to deepen our partnership by engaging directly with participating schools throughout the tournament. So through our school engagement sessions, introducing students to career opportunities, entrepreneurship, employable skills, and lifelong learning, because today's student is tomorrow's professional in the workplace.
10 specially designed chess sets have been presented to the National United Society of the Blind. They're for training purposes among the blind and visually impaired community of Barbados. The presentation, which included 5 specially designed chess clocks with audio capability, was a collaborative effort between the Ministry of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, the Society, and the local chess federation. The equipment allows visually impaired players to move from online training to over-the-board competition. President of the Barbados Chess Federation, Alan Herbert, says there are opportunities for players to compete on the world stage.
The International Federation recently introduced, and the second edition recently introduced a world team tournament for the disabled, in which whether it's if the disability is you cannot speak, we call that silent chess, right? Whether it's you're deaf, you cannot hear, whether you have sight problems or you're physically disabled, etc. So countries from around the world enter teams for that, and this year would be the second edition of it. So part of this plan is to start us from this embryonic stage, and maybe within 2 to 4 years, the competition is held every 2 years, we would see Barbados fielding its first team at that level.
President of the National United Society of the Blind, Robert Alston, says there is plenty talent among the disabled community.
I believe the disabled fraternity, I call them unsung heroes. We have persons that have so much to give back to society, just need the opportunity. And this particular initiative where the Chess Federation and collaboration with the Social Empowerment Agency and the National United Society for the Blind. It is another opportunity for us to promote and advocate for persons of disability. So I'm going to keep it short. I want to thank you all for being on board and helping us that we can make the opportunity and the effort to showcase what more we can do.
Meanwhile, Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Adrian Ford, says it's all part of his ministry's push for inclusivity.
We are looking forward for you to come up with a proposal so we can have a blind chess tournament for persons within your community. I want to commit to the ministry support for that. In the same way that I committed in this same very room the support for the blind calypso competition, which was an extreme success. So in the not too distant future, because I know that every single person in this room has the visual acuity for the success of this tournament. And in the not too distant future, I want to say to you and to all Barbadians that we will have a blind chess tournament right here in Barbados in support of persons in the community who we know will do well.
Well, as you heard at the top of the news, the Courtesy Garage Pickety Crop Finals, powered by Q100.7 FM, will be carried live on TV8 from 8:03 p.m. So stay tuned. It comes right after the Barbados Lottery draw. And that's news. Thank you so much for viewing. I'm Aisha Nichols. Enjoy the rest of your night.